Hello, this is Dave from MeRC, and I just got a new product in. This is really a neat plane, and I got it to replace one that I've already got. So this is called a DragonFly. Here's the fuselage right here, and you can see that. And some of you might already have noticed that it looks familiar. If you've seen this one right here, you'll see that it's the same thing. This is the HobbyKing Skipper. You can see how that's configured: rear, side view, front, and it has a hatch. Comes up like this where you can put the battery in. ESC is also laying in there. And then there's a rear hatch where the receiver goes in, right in there. And this is basically like a jet, but it just, oh, sorry about that. It's basically like a jet, but it takes up off the water, grass. It's sort of an all-terrain thing. And I'm afraid to fly it out on the golf course, though, because I might crash it into the ground. In fact, that's what happened to this one. It crashed into the ground, and it had some nose damage. I glued it back on. And what happens with it now is when I'm taking up off the water, I have to get up a lot of speed, and then it just suddenly pops up off the water like it's been glued. So I feel that's from some of the deformation of the nose. So I got a new one. I couldn't get a HobbyKing Skipper because they didn't carry it anymore. But I did get this DragonFly version 2, which is the same thing as this. And I've got the box for it. Box for it is right there. It's kind of far away, but that's what it looks like. And it's from Joyceway. Joyceway is the company that I ordered it from, and that's on, here's the manual right here, and you can see it says Joyceway right on the top right corner right there, and bigger on the back. So there you go. And it cost $99, probably close to $100. I think it was about, with all the tax and well, not tax, but shipping. I think you can get it free shipping. But anyway, this was a good bargain. I mean, the HobbyKing one, I believe, was more expensive, so this is a better deal. And I've talked about it to some of my friends. Uncle Deke, for example, that's Dick Gibson's channel. You can look at his channel. I think he's getting one too, and we'll be flying it. I told him about it, but there's just been a lot of people ordering them, and hopefully they're still in stock. I don't know, but I went ahead and got mine. And I want to thank the viewer, and I can't remember the viewer's name. I might look it up later. But I want to thank one of my viewers for suggesting this under one of my videos. So yeah, it's a good buy. Comes with the motor already installed, as you can see here. And all the wiring is in there. ESC's already installed. See if I can get that in there. So ESC's already installed. All you got to do is put in a receiver and bind your radio. I think they do have one that's already put together and comes with a radio, but it's a little bit more money. And it was out of stock, so I couldn't get it anyway. Besides, I don't need that. I'm probably going to take the receiver and stuff out of this other one. Just remove the receiver and stuff out of this one. Actually, that's all I got to remove is the receiver. And put it in here, and then I'll be good to go. So some people ask, well, you know, how do you put it together? Well, this thing boasts, the manual boasts, that you don't have to do any gluing. And that seems like an impossibility, but after looking it over, I found out it's true. There's some stickum tape right here, double stick tape. You peel that and put your two rods in, your carbon fiber rods, into the body, and put a wing on each side after removing this tape. You just have to fish this wire through the hole and then put the two wings together, and that gets that done. Now for the horizontal stabilizers, they clip together. There's like a little rod right there that slides in another. It clips together, fits into the grooves, and then they give you two little pieces of tape like this that tape the two halves together, top and bottom. You put one piece here and another piece on the bottom to hold these two halves together. Personally, I think I'll probably glue it. Here's the little rod for the vertical stabilizer that just goes in this hole right here like that and feeds through the fuselage. Now, all the control horns and servos are already installed. You can see right there. The linkages are already hooked up, so you don't have to do any of that. And then there's two on the motor too. You can see them there on the sides, right there. And they're already hooked up to the control horns and the servo horns. Everything's already set except on the vertical. Well, no, the vertical's already done, but except on the horizontal, you will have to add the rod, which is provided right here. But the control horn and the holder is already on there, as you can see. So you just have to add the rod and then tighten the set screw. And they give you a little piece of heat shrink here because they give you a Dean's plug to put onto your battery if you want to convert a battery to the Dean's style. Me, I won't be using that because I'm going to replace the Dean's plug here with an XT60 because that's what I use. So I'll just desolder this and put on an XT60 like I did on the other one. And they give you a little Allen wrench there to tighten your Allen screws on those keepers. Well, here's the interesting thing. There's a balloon. Okay, the HobbyKing one came, the Skipper came with that too, but so does the DragonFly. This balloon, that's to save the plane in case it falls in the water. No, just kidding. What it does is you put the receiver inside here to protect it from the water, and then you can put a little tie wrap around it or whatever. I don't think I did that on mine. I can't remember. Let's see. Let's see if I did. Yes, I did. There it is right there. Can you see that? Inside there? So the balloon is around the receiver. Personally, I never seen any water get way down in there. But it could. And then you have your spare prop and of course these little pieces here in case your shaft is a different size. You know, everybody has a different size shaft, so you need those. And you got your splitter. And this splitter just plugs onto these cables down here so that you don't need an extra channel on your receiver. If you've got just a 4-channel receiver, that'll work. This is just the receiver hatch, which goes right here. And they've already got the magnets on them, already installed. Same thing with the top. That goes right on there. And so the question is probably, are these really the same size? I wondered that myself. The first thing what I did was get the original one, and then I held up the fuselages side by side like that, line them up, and you can see they're identical. No difference. Same old thing. You can see what the decal design is on this one, and like that. And that's another thing, you don't get any decals because they're already on there. Now this one doesn't have any decals on the bottom like this other one did. So that's a little different, but I never saw the need for any decals on the bottom. But you could put some on there if you've got some decal material. You could do that. Yeah, there's some Velcro here for the battery. Okay, I noticed in the directions here it says that it uses a 1200 milliamp hour 3-cell battery. I believe I was using a 1300. I think you can even use a 1500 milliamp hour battery if you want. Just depends on your liking and how you fly. But I think it will take a little bit bigger battery. That's what I found out on the other one. I'll just put a picture of what I'm using up here in the corner somewhere, I guess over here. Show a picture of my battery, and that's what it looks like. You might want to know what the weight is, for example, but what I'll do is I'll measure the other one, which is the same one. It'll give you some reference. So it looks like about 530 grams, something like that. And of course this one does have some lamination on it. Not everywhere, but just a little bit on the bottom right here as far as lamination, so that'll probably not add very much to it. So that's the weight. So in my case, I was using the FrSky radio right here, this radio right here, and the receiver that I had in it, and the other one is the FrSky X6R, and that seemed to do the job nicely for me. And it has dual antennas. That's why I had the two antennas sticking out right there. So they're just sticking out on either side like there. They seem to give me good range. I hadn't had any problem with signal loss. Now on the radio, I've got set up just 4 channels. It's aileron, elevator, throttle, rudder. The aileron is only 40% rates. You want very little travel and little rates on the ailerons. Otherwise, it'll be just too unsteady to fly. That's what I found out. So got that. Now I got 70% on the elevator, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, 70% on the elevator. Now as far as the E value, that's the exponential or whatever you call it, I've got that on 40 for the ailerons and 50 for the elevator. Throttle is normal and rudder is 100% because you got to be able to steer when you're in the water. So yeah, of course you could put a rate switch on there and switch between different rates, but I found this thing, it's just got to be in those low rates or it'll crash for sure. That's what happened to me the first time I flew it. It was all over the place. And I've got this Y splitter on there, so that's why I only need 1 channel for the ailerons. There's 2 servos, but you split them with this, so that gets you down to just 1 channel. Okay, so that's about it. I think I've covered about everything. If you have any questions, just leave them underneath the video and I'll try to answer them. And hopefully we'll get this thing in the air sometime in September. But here's some video of the Skipper flying out on a lake in West Virginia. Bye for now. Well, it's flying okay now. Bring it around. Yeah, it's doing pretty good now. Woo. Like this. Doesn't want to turn very good unless you go slow. And it doesn't want to come off out the water as easy. There we go. Well, like I said, the other guy that has one of these that's here, he said his does the same thing. You got to get a good long run and then pop it up off the water. Yeah, it's flying good now. Tracking good and everything. There we go. I don't know what they're using though, it's hard to tell. Is it ever going to lift off? There it goes. I'm flying the HobbyKing Skipper.
No, he's looking at what? No, Patrick's flying the...
That's John and Jeff back there at the team.
Okay. Yeah. That's getting me confused up here.
That don't take much.
gonna pick him up.
No. Give it full bore there. There you go. I was doing some 3D. Almost did a nose stand. Whew. Ever get where your thumb's about to slip off the finger?